G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. Is anybody surprised by this result? Honestly. 19 points to 21. You can blame the referee all you want, but this is how the referee should have been called for the entire year. The amount of 4 passes that was brushed over because we've got to speed the game up, manufacturing what rugby league does. This is how it should be. And I'm sorry if you don't not happy about it, because you've been conditioned, you've been brainwashed, right, to think that the 4 passes should not be called because the try is more exciting. You're ruining the excitement by following the law books. I'm sorry, but this is, Super Rugby opened a can of worms when they started going down the slippery slope, and now you're not happy about it. It's kind of like, scrolling on Instagram. Once you get used to it, it's very hard to stop because you've already exposed yourself to the easy dopamine. Now the dopamine train gonna stop a bit because this is how the game's supposed to be played. You might not like it. And guess what? You might be saying, game's gonna die. Well, no, it's not gonna die. This is like a great opportunity for the game to finally carve a niche for themselves. All the kids are getting kicked off Instagram and 16-year-olds are getting banned from using their phones or whatnot. What a great opportunity to bring everybody into the real world. Have some human connections, right? And just sit down and enjoy and just, feel live as it should be and not through a fucking screen. Not try to speed everything up to pump the dopamine into everyone's head constantly. What a great opportunity to slow the game down. What a great opportunity to get people feel like humans again. What a great opportunity to engage the kids that are all probably sitting at home upset about not able to scroll on TikTok. This is a good thing. This is a good thing, guys. And I think this is a great opportunity for Rugby Australia and New Zealand Rugby, in fact, rugby all around the world, to seize it and get people back into reality and get people back into feeling a sense of community. Talk to people. Just sit down and enjoy the moment. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, guys. And it's going to take time. And, as upset as it might be that your team lost because of very slight 4 passes, this is how it should be. This is how it should have been. And the fact that you're not feeling happy about it, well, I'm sorry. You've been conditioned poorly by rugby, by Super Rugby. And, not very few of you guys watched my video on the news after the State of Origin. There has been some analysis done with Rugby League. They do the same thing as we're learning, we're copying the playbook from Rugby League, which is they try to manufacture excitement with the referee decisions, right, in a different way from Rugby Union, but the concept is the same. They try to get the referees to speed the game up, to, give out more or less penalties, to create more tries. Something like what we're seeing in Super Rugby, right? Like we're seeing Super Rugby where they're ignoring 4 passes because it's a good try, because the excitement, to keep the excitement. And as a result of what they're doing in Rugby League is that there are too many tries and people are starting to see that these are being manufactured. And players and coaches are questioning and, pushing back at a lot of the decisions the referees are making because the referees are trying to manufacture tries. People are pushing back and the fans are losing interest as well. It worked for them for a bit and then they've gone too far. And in the short term, it's fine because you get the dopamine hits, right? But in the long term, it's not going to sustain. So this is a good thing. If you keep going down this road, yes, more tries are going to be scored. Yes, you're going to get that dopamine in the short term. In the medium to long term, it's not sustainable. And it's already showing that in Rugby League. People are turning away because too many tries. It's manufactured. It's not really a competition anymore. Not a real competition anymore. People start seeing through it. There was a report came out of the news recently, before the State of Origin, about this. So, this is a good thing, guys. This is a good thing. And ultimately, the Brumbies need to look at themselves to find the problems. to find the issues and culture issues and whatnot in the team. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You guys, if anyone has attended post game, fan signing or whatever you call those post game, little meet and greet with the fan and the players. I've been to every one of them this entire season for the Waratahs games. So I met pretty much every team in Super Rugby. Not every team, but most of the teams in Super Rugby. And let me tell you something. The Brumbies post-match, for me, at least, maybe I'm just biased, was just the weirdest. Had like the weird, the vibe was really, really off. The vibe was very, very off for me. So I don't know if it just me. If you've been to a Brumbies post-game thing and felt the same, let me know. It felt very off because there's like a couple cool guys. Obviously, Alan Alatoa seems pretty nice. And then Rob Valentini is great, seems like a great bloke. But it just like it's a little bit off. It feels like a bunch of some of the players at the top feel like they're a bit distant. They don't want to sign everybody's autographs, and then some of the other players are just kind of like, almost mucking around like schoolboys a little bit, and not really engaging the fans either. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm just biased. I felt like the Brumbies one was the worst had the worst vibe. Out of all the ones I've been to. But yeah, like it's a pretty day in light. You look around to the Waratah side, like, Jorgensen was literally going around trying to sign as many autographs as he possibly could. And then you look at the Brumbies side, there's, nothing like that was happening for the Brumbies side, right? So anyway, that's a little, the Brumbies, I don't know if I talk, they went from the best team that could have won the whole championship, flogging the Crusaders, to a team that doesn't really care anymore, right? Doesn't really care. And one of the things that I think is really interesting is I want to look at the ladder a little bit, right? So here's the difference. Here's why, it's so disappointing to be a Brumbies fan and so disappointing to be an Australian rugby fan in general. The Blues still yet to play the Chiefs. And in theory, even if they beat the Chiefs, they'll go ahead of the Crusaders. If they don't beat the Chiefs, they're still going to be fourth, right? Very commanding position to make it in the semifinals because the top four most likely going to get there. But the word out of the Blues camp this whole week is that they want to beat the Chiefs so that they can secure the third place and a home quarterfinal, right? Or whatever you call it, home final game for their fans. They didn't just come into this and say, we're fourth, it's good enough, win, lose, or draw, let's, whatever. We're already in the top 6. They wanted to do something special for their fans. Do you think the Brumbies wanted to put out something special for their fans today? Do you think the Brumbies wanted to do something for their fans today? They look like a team that said, we're in top 6. It doesn't matter if we play the Chiefs or the Hurricanes in New Zealand. We're probably going to lose that anyway. It doesn't matter. Let's just go out there and see what happens. They played against 14 players for 30 minutes and they still lost. The line else was horrendous. The scrum was okay, I guess. I think it wasn't that great. It was okay. Breakdown was horrendous. Penalties everywhere. Penalty was like, this was probably one of the worst, if not the worst penalty count out of all the Super Rugby. Okay, this was that bad. They played against 13 players, 30 minutes. They dropped the ball. I can't tell you how many times. And, at least Edmund got like 40 minutes, I guess. That's an improvement. They scored a more try, I guess. That's finally like the first one of the season, maybe. This is one, like, finally. It's, yeah. I mean, that's the difference. That's the difference in mentality, right? The Kiwis seem like they actually cared. The Brumbies, I genuinely, this performance didn't look like they really care about it that much, right? Didn't really look like it. So Moana Pasifika, just a little bit of information about the financial problems. So one of the things, basically the club was, obviously New Zealand Rugby started it, and then it was taken over by this company called Pacifica Medical Association Group, and they taken over the company in 2024. And basically, they've decided they no longer wanted to operate the cost of this team. It's about 10 to 12 million, the running cost, and then the money that it's getting from selling tickets and the TV rights just doesn't cut it, right? It's about what is it, like 2 million or something? I think it was about 2 million something that in terms of revenue coming in. And then, but the 1.5 million, right? So they're basically short like more than 8 to 10 million New Zealand dollars in operation costs. So they're just bleeding money. They're also down in debt as well. They're also bought a bit of money in debt, $2.7 million in debt. But that's not a sustainable business. That is not a sustainable business. You're looking at like losing $10 million a year operating a team. Yeah, just not sustainable. Especially they had some financial support from World Rugby at the beginning. They had some governmental support from New Zealand government, and all of those has been slowly dialed back and all taken away. Now they're just, it makes sense that they're not going to be able to fund this. They try to get more sponsorships. They try to get a game in, I think in Samoa, maybe in Tonga, did not get enough sponsorship to make that even financially viable. And yeah, it is what it is. The market is just not there for this team. As much as people like to like the idea of having a Pacifica team that represents, Tonga and Samoa, it's just not financially viable. Not financially viable. This is what this is showing, right? Like, as much as we like to say that, this is a good idea, it's not financially viable. People are not showing up to pay for the tickets. The sponsors are not showing up to put logos on the jerseys. It's just not there. Sorry, unfortunately, it is just the way it is. And the New Zealand public, it's potentially standing to lose $2.7 million. You can't really fault New Zealand not trying. They have a loan. They've given out $2.75 million loan from New Zealand government, which is taxpayers' money. So that's going to, so New Zealand has been funding the team there through the loan, and that's going to be lost, most likely. But there's a bit of good news. These people, Kanaloa Rugby, it's a private consortium. It's looking at potentially taking the team back, rescuing the team, and then see where they want to put it, right? I don't know if they want to put it back in Super Rugby. They had to find a different place to stage the team. But it is tough. It is tough. And, one of the problem with New Zealand Rugby was having is the Moana Pasifika was, I don't know how much this is, was basically based in Auckland as well. So it's chewing into some of the markets of the Blues as well. So New Zealand Rugby didn't want to, it's not really an ideal situation. They wanted to be in, they prefer this team to be like the Fijian Dura, based in Fiji, and try to, really rally the fans there and not just cannibalize the fans for the Blues as well. So there are a number of big issues here, but yeah, it is not sustainable to lose $10 million a year. That is crazy. That's crazy amount of money being lost. And 10 million is quite a lot a year for just one club. That is quite a lot, let me know. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on that. But it's people, I think, just not going to work. There's not going to work. You have to generate more money than that. So yeah, let's have a look at the match stats of the game. There's not really too much to talk about. It was horrendous for the Brumbies. 497 for the Brumbies, 517 for Moana Pasifika, 20 defenders beaten to Moana Pasifika 31. 12 turnovers conceded for both teams, 130 tackles made for Brumbies, 31 missed tackles. 119 for the Moana Pasifika, only 20 missed tackles there. 22 kicks in play for the Brumbies, 24 for Moana Pasifika. 1 conversion missed, 100% for Moana Pasifika. 614 kicks from hand, kick meters, to 592 for Moana Pasifika. And then we've got 5 lineouts lost out of 10 for the Brumbies, 3 out of 13 for Moana Pasifika. Like, just getting worse every week, isn't it, this team? Scrums, no loss for the Brumbies, 5. 9 scrums for Moana Pasifika, that's 1 loss for Moana Pasifika. So a little bit of problem there. overall, 14 penalties considered for the Brumbies, 11 for Moana Pasifika. This was actually 1 red card and 1 yellow card. So it was 2 yellow cards issued against the same guy. So it was turned into 1 red because it was like 1 yellow, 1 red, I guess. But it's 30 minutes off the field. There was 1 yellow card against Brumbies for which one was it? What happened? Was it a cynical play in front of the? Oh yeah, this was a cynical. The what do you call it? One of the players. This was a cynical play in front of the goal line. I think who was it? Anyway, yeah, this was a cynical play, so it's not really like it's like literally like the first penalty that was given out, and then immediately there was a yellow card because it was a cynical play. I think it was playing the ball on the ground or something, but yeah, it was a like a yellow card right away against the Brumbies there. So yeah, didn't really need to do that. Discipline was horrendous. 14, like considering the referee has been really eased up on the penalties. 14 is really, really, really high. It's probably one of the highest, like I said, if not the highest of the season. Like, I'm not joking. That's crazy high. Because of just how much leeway that the referees are giving out these days in Super Rugby. But anyway, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say. 3 tries each. Difference is the conversion. But there was finally a more try, I guess. Go watch the replay. There was some pretty outstanding play from Pellegrini. But yeah, I'm just going to call it there. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Cheers.